What up? How's it going? Ninja James. Today I'm here to talk about one of my favorite topics. And I'm gonna be frosting a cake at the same time. So, if that sounds good to you, if you want to see other videos related to this topic, Bitcoin, then go ahead and hit the like button for yourself. You'll see more shit like this. If you want to be updated the next time that I make a video, then hit the little bell notification after you subscribe. All right, so I've done this before. I don't know if you might have seen one of my other videos where I baked a whole cake. I baked an entire cake. This is the hardest video I ever made because there was so much editing involved and I wasn't very experienced. I'm still not very experienced, but I can bake a cake like a motherfucker. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. Starting out with some flour on the surface here. The plate, right? And I'm going to try and make it like this picture, which some people might think that's hard, but I'm on already started. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Now, why do you like Bitcoin? Why should you have Bitcoin? Bitcoin, right? Well, check it out. First of all, you can take your fiat currency that you get from working your ass off every day and night, most of the time, both jobs for school or college, whatever it is, right? So you take that money and then you can exchange it for Bitcoin. You can flip it. You can flip it into Bitcoin like that, right? Sorry, that might have been loud. Fuck my life. And you lay it down and you don't touch it for a minute. You let it grow because every 4 years or so, Bitcoin halves. The amount of Bitcoin that is created gets split in half every 4 years. So when is that? Isn't that forever? Blah, blah, blah. I ain't got time for this shit. I don't fuck with Bitcoin. Meh. Listen, what's 4 years anyway? An election? Every fucking time that they gotta elect a new president, there's 4 years, right? That's not very often. If you remember when fucking Bill Clinton was in office or George Bush was in office or fucking anybody was in office besides our current president and you invested in Bitcoin, you might have some fucking real money right about now. But people are fucking stupid. No offense. You work too hard. You worry too much about money because you work so hard for it. I understand. I'm the same way. But I learned about Bitcoin. Now, how long does it take to learn about Bitcoin? Not very fucking long. If you go to almost any app nowadays, because they're implementing it in all the technology, but Cash App particularly shows you exactly what to do with your money and how to turn it into Bitcoin. It tells you about Bitcoin. And it's easy. It's easy to learn. So, like I said, you could take your own money, your hard-earned Bitcoin or hard-earned cash, fiat, USD, whatever, and you can flip it into Bitcoin. And then every 4 years, they only are able to produce half. So let's get an example going, right? About 4 years ago, they were making 950 so Bitcoin, 950 something, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments. Fuck you. And then 4 years later, which would be not last April, but the April before that, they're only making 453 something. Yeah, 450 Bitcoin a day. That's it. That sounds like a lot, right? Because Bitcoin costs $100,000. Well, you can buy a piece of Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of Bitcoin, and it will be worth way more money than the dollar that you have. Because, fun fact, you might not know this, but the dollar that you work so hard for loses 2% of its value annually. So, not trying to confuse you here, not trying to lose you either. The fact is that right now, they're only mining 450 Bitcoin a day. Why is that a big deal? Why is it scarce? Well, due to the way how Bitcoin was designed, there's only going to be 21 million coins ever in existence. Forever. 21 million. Do you know why that's a big deal? I'm going to tell you. Because all of these major companies, Fidelity, BlackRock, I don't know, maybe you fucking heard of them, they're buying all of it. MicroStrategy alone, now their name is Strategy, they own, I think it's, I don't know, 10% now? They own like so much of all of the Bitcoin, right? Not to mention, there's a lot of Bitcoin that's unrecoverable. They'll never see it again. We'll never see it again. That's because once it's gone, it's gone. You could have like a seed phrase or like a password or something, and when you forget that shit, or when anybody forgets it, it's gone. Let's say you, God forbid, let's say you die with all of your Bitcoin and it's never recoverable. That's just gonna make it even more scarce. So people don't understand why this is a big deal. It's because, you could just buy a little bit of it, and it's going to grow. It's not just going to grow like in 4 years. Bitcoin is up over 85% in the last year, 1 year. That means that 5 years ago in 2020, Bitcoin was only $9,000, something like that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Fuck you. Now, that, over the last 5 years, is a 1,111% increase. Wow. Now, do you remember what I said the regular dollar does, what the US dollar does? It loses value. It loses 2% of the value. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but let's say you got $1, right? $1. By the end of this year, that $1 is going to be worth 98 cents. By the beginning of next year, 2026, it'll only be worth 96 cents. What the fuck? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? Like, it's not hard to understand Bitcoin. Now, there's like however many millionaires that exist. There's not even enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to hold one Bitcoin. So these millionaires, these billionaires, these companies, they want Bitcoin. They want a lot of it on their balance sheet, on their whatever, right? They just want to hold it. Now, let's say that you just have like a little bit of Bitcoin, just whatever you can afford, right? Whatever you can afford to lose. Now, if you did that, then you would be a part of the 1% of everybody that owns any of it. That's rare. That's what you would call, how there's a 1% of the rich guys that own all of the money, basically, right? That's a wealth transfer. That's literally a script being flipped, right? So, speaking of flipping the script, we're going to flip this other cake here. We're going to try to. Blam, wasn't that easy? Oh my God, it's almost as easy as, fucking buying Bitcoin. So what I'll do is I'll flip this over again. And that's what you could do with your money. That's what you could do with Bitcoin. You could start out with a certain amount of money, and then you could flip it into Bitcoin, wait a little bit, and then flip it back into your fiat currency that's so fucking precious that you need to pay off college for, right? And you'll make a profit. You'll make a profit. Not the banks, not the government, certainly not fucking Aunt Sue, who's just too goddamn apprehensive to even look it up, right? You don't have to worry anymore, is what I'm telling you. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to struggle your whole life. You don't have to oh, I don't know, sell pictures on fucking OnlyFans. You don't have to use a fucking AI thing to write a book. You don't have to do none of that shit. You could just buy Bitcoin and hold it, and it could save your life. So, I mean, at least before you don't, think about it. Because there are people that are dumber than I am, and believe me, I'm dumb. And they didn't take but 5, maybe 10 minutes to learn about Bitcoin. Just open up the Cash App and look at where it says B as a $sign at the very bottom, and it'll tell you to where like a 14-year-old can understand it. And really, if you don't do that, then I'm sorry, you're dumber than a 14-year-old. So, with that being said, you could have your cake and you could eat it too. You don't have to be a slave to the grind. You could just invest in Bitcoin. And then all those bills and taxes that you have to pay, because believe me, you have to pay them, they will come and get you. It becomes less stressful, becomes easier. You know what's really going viral right now? They like to talk about how back in my day, we could just buy a house on a minimum wage job, not even with roommates. All these fucking kids like to buy their $9 coffees and complain about how good everybody else used to have it. You could have it good too. You just gotta know. It's not investing in the stock market. It's not any of that. It's fucking Bitcoin, and it's right in front of you. You want to know how new this shit is? It just got made in like 2008. So it's like 16, 17 years old. I'm making this video because I got a lot of friends that I dearly care about. Like I really miss most of the time. And just for my own sanity, I gotta block them. I gotta block them and write them off, because anybody that chooses not to understand Bitcoin is like depriving themselves of true financial freedom. Now, this isn't financial advice, right? But tell me if you couldn't be doing better in life right now. Tell me that you don't have bills. You don't have like funeral expenses and shit. Because I know that you do. You think that it's hard to live? Try dying. They'll charge you much more money for that. They're going to charge you. They're going to charge you until you're dead, and then after that. So, if you decide to not hold Bitcoin, that's literally your loss, because it was made for the people. So please don't be ignorant. Don't act like you got better shit to do, because you don't. If there was something better, then I would know about it. A lot of people would know about it. You think a billion people are wrong about rice over in like Asia or whatever, where they eat rice? Do you think they're all wrong? Maybe you don't like rice. Maybe you really like the struggle. And that brings me to another point. We really do get addicted to stress. Some of us actually think that we don't deserve better. We think that we are absolutely worthy of our struggle, which in some cases we are. But we deserve better, okay? We deserve better than what we've been putting up with our whole lives. We deserve better. And thank God that somebody came up with Bitcoin, because take it from me, I used to be homeless. It is better. It's better than gold. It's better than real estate. It's actually digital real estate and digital gold. Did you know that the United States government is implementing it into an emergency, like a strategic reserve, right? So they're holding on to Bitcoin. Most of it they just confiscated from like criminals and stuff. But they're holding it. And that's because they know what it does, what it's gonna do, what it's already historically done several times. So, like I was saying, I'm making this video because it's my friend's birthday, and I'm baking her a cake. But I'm also making this video because a lot of people don't know about Bitcoin. They don't hold it. They don't own it. They don't even care to study it. Remember when I said I was homeless? I wasn't kidding. I actually was. You could ask my sister, my brother-in-law, my best friend in Minnesota, his family. They let me live on their couch. Like, it's a long story. But if I would have just known about Bitcoin back then, could you imagine 8 years ago? That's 2 cycles. If I just would have put $500 or let's do less. Let's say if I would have put like $25 into that, like just last year, pretty sure that would be like $300 by now. $25, $300. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. So like if I put $500 into Bitcoin 8 years ago, dude, I'd have $20,000. Do you guys really think that your time isn't that important? It's not valuable? Do you like making $15 an hour and then buying like an $8 pack of cigarettes or a $15 case of beer? Think about it, dude. They got you right by the fucking balls. And not only that, but when you say stuff like, oh, I don't like Bitcoin, it's like you are a glutton for punishment. You're like addicted to the stress that they put you through. Now, I ain't no sucker, right? But I was paying bills. I still pay bills. But I mean, I was like really looking forward to every paycheck. Now, unfortunately, I'm disabled now and I don't get paychecks. I gotta wait every fucking month to get anything. But I invest into Bitcoin. So I'll see you in 4 or 5 years. And whatever it is that I decided to invest, whatever it is that you decide to invest, you're gonna be well off. You're gonna be fine. You're not gonna be like, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do because, like, you know, I only make so-and-so and inflation and all of this shit. You're right. It's crazy. But if you just study Bitcoin and you just learn about it, the struggle will be less painful. It'll be more fun. It'll be fun to pay bills because you won't be as stressed out. You'll be like, oh shit, I got this because I bought Bitcoin a couple years ago. So now I'm like straight. I don't have to worry about, you know, people slapping my head all the time because they will as soon as they learn how. Not just the government. Everybody will be slapping your head because that's what it is. It's like you decide in what category you fall into by how foolish you decide to be. So you could make a cake for your friend like I'm doing because you chose to invest in Bitcoin. So you have time, you have money to buy a little cup of frosting. You know what I mean? You don't have to stress as much. If you know me personally, then you know that like I have high blood pressure. I get anxious. A lot of that I was depressed. A lot of that shit is not even on my mind anymore. It comes and goes, you know what I'm saying? But like, really, all that I think about now is cake and how to make it, right? And how to make cake for my friends. Because life's too short. It's way too short. It's very important that you do something with your life. Don't spend so much time being depressed, okay? Happy birthday, Amy. Happy birthday, Lance. Happy birthday, everybody. Whoever's birthday it is, have some cake. Buy some Bitcoin.